Hi. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi. You're welcome.
Hi. Yeah, can.
Hello everyone, how are you? Can you hear me? Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Okay, let me see. Share screen. This okay. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Oops. Slideshow, is it? Okay, hi, my name is Luis, and I will be sharing how to do how to create an impactful portrait. I've been in the portrait photography for like around 10 years. I've been creating some portraits of my own style. Okay, okay. So that there's 8 ways, there's 8 steps how to create an impactful portrait. It's getting the right team, it's getting the right talent, it's getting the right costumes, makeup, props, location, angle, and lighting, and doing the shoot the right way. Yes, that's the one. So before starting any pre-production, you need to imagine and visualize the end product. Yes, have to do it have to do it beforehand. So if you are not familiar with it, you sketch it down and jot it down the idea in any way. Look at it as many times as possible. Think how can you do it better. Before that, after that, you think imagine where do you want to do the photo shoot. Go to the actual location, and during that time, imagine the talent in the location, and you take pictures of various spots and angles. Yes, because the location is very big, so there's many angles and spots available. So you just take a photo and imagine the talent, the model inside the location first before starting to do anything. But before that, you need to know that what the end product will look like. It means at the photo itself, after the shoot, after everything, what angle it will be. So this is one of the starting points. So after you get the idea, you do research whether anybody have did the idea before. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, Jalan Petaling. Yes, Jalan Petaling. A lot of people like to post the model there, and they do some really candid street shots, but not totally street. It got a talent inside. So, do you want to just follow, or you want to have a breakthrough? Okay, if no, you just follow the previous photographers. If yes, oh, sorry, my mistake. If yes, you follow the previous photographers and ask them how they shoot, and then you just follow. If no, you need to improve and modify. How to improve and modify? Think, look at the works of the everybody who shot at Jalan Petani, and then you copy their strengths, how they post the talent, where do where do they post, at the sidewalk or in the middle of the street, or one of the buildings, old buildings, up the stairs, second floor, whatever. So you think, you copy their strength. If they do the second floor, maybe you can do a second floor balcony or whatever. Okay, I give you boost the ideas, put your ideas inside. Don't just put a bit, put all of ideas. So you can differentiate your own photo from others who came before. Yes. If you can't, if those others who came before is very good already, you can't break through. So you do a twist or different route. Like you wear some you you do cosplay there, or you wear some clothes or handful over there, or something different, and not street style. Make it something different. So what I mean is twist and a different routes. And but in the same time, you take note of their weakness of those who came before you, and try not to repeat that. Yes, this is one of the way to study, to improve yourself. Think and rethink while you are at the preparing the theme with your mind. You think again and again, refine ideas. Sometimes refine means you throw away the unimportant parts and take only the important parts. So this is called refining. Oil refinery, yes, something like that. So after that, you shape it into a financially practical and or doable way. It means doable means you cannot shoot inside some certain shops. So you need to think how to shoot inside another shop over there or another local spot. Means financial practical means that you did not need to spend a lot of money and also can get the feel. So this is what I did in 2018 in Nirvana sebenarnya. So this is the model is greatly standing on the water. Before I do the shoot, I go to have extensive site surveying. I survey the river. It is shallow. I survey the mold. Yes, it's very slippery. So before the model steps in, me and my, I call them friends, I don't want to call them assistants. Me and my friends clean the rocks with our feet. We rub it with our feet, bit by bit, until where the model stands. And we, after that, we guide the model. No, we help the model to walk until this very spot. And then we should. This means by site surveying. Site surveying is very important so you can see where the moss, and not just see it by the last minute and found out that we cannot shoot on the river because of the moss. And then I have time to think of a way to clear the moss. Yes. Okay, as I said before, take pictures of various spots and angles. Yes, in Nirvana, sebenarnya is very big. So there's a lot of spots and angles that I did, that I looked at. So this is part of the mood board. Yes, part of the mood board. Take all the spots and angles, put it down, spread it out, so you can know which spots is the best and which suits whatever costumes that come later. Did anybody did this idea before? Yes, a lot of people went to Nirvana sebenarnya and did. A lot of people went to Nirvana sebenarnya and did it. So I was thinking, almost everyone did Hanfu and some traditional costumes. So I picked some modern ones to have a contrast in this kind of ancient theme location. Yes, I gave it a twist and a different route. Had anybody stand on the river before? No. So I did a little bit of breakthrough. I clean the rocks of moss and then the model stand on the river. Okay, same with this photo. These 4 pieces of mirror, it's called mirror, no, it's called stone slabs. These 4 pieces of stone slabs. There's a name for this kind of thing. I can't remember. Okay, this 4 pieces of stone slabs is one of the most iconic part of the whole place. So this force, I need to shoot it here. So I asked the model to stand here. And then the clothes, this is the much more traditional type clothes. So I put red. I choose the red one so it pops out from the very pale color backdrop. Not backdrop, pale color environment. Yes. Any questions?
Okay, what do you remember what aperture you used for this?
Aperture, I use very small aperture like 8 or 9 because it is noon. We shot in 12:30 noon. The light is
Okay.
the sunlight is very strong.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me proceed to the next one. Okay, getting the right talent is very important as the talents plays a very crucial role in determining the strength of our image. Talents come in various fields and looks. Casting the right one solely depends on ability to choose and fit their look into your team. Yes, you need. This is a skill that quite a number of photographers have to master, because this skill can enable you to choose the unique model for your own special shoots. Every model is different. You can't put a talent with a fierce and powerful look in a cutesy team shoot. Yes, like Lolita, you need to find those cute models and not the fierce and powerful ones. Try to look and don't say that the talent is not don't try to look and so don't say the talent is too new or whatever. Guide them. It is the job of the photographer. In these couple of years, I shoot models with zero experience. I guide them to bring out their best. Yes, in my sharing 3 months ago, I emphasize on the gaze of the models. Yes, the models look, not the gaze, the models eyesight, their stare. The eyes are the window of the soul, and there is the main connection between the viewer and the picture. Finding a good model in nature gives fitting. Yes, a good talent can produce any film like an actor or actress, but ultimately her genuine gaze fits best because there's be her, just be herself. Yes, if you find somebody who is naturally born with that gaze, it will be the best because it is herself, and then she can perform 100%. Not everybody is top actress or actors. So find somebody who is who have the skills, and well, who have the skills, who is born with the field, and everything will just fall into place. Yes, natural aura. There is a kind of thing called aura that everybody have. Every talent, especially talents, they varies from person to person. It's very important. Some radiates a certain field, such as some just feel nothing. This is a very uh, niche thing that some very sensitive individual only can feel. But those who is born sensitive, they can feel their auras. As somebody said, hey, I have bad feeling about a guy who just walked into the room, and then they haven't know him yet, something like that. So, okay, the best test of talent skill, put up portraits of them solely focus on strength of eye connections. Yes, when you see their eyes, you look into the eyes, you will feel something. So the talent have to put out all of their feel to match, to connect with the audience. Okay, this tool is by the one on the blue one is by the eyesight, the red one is by the aura. Yes, this lady in blue, her, her face, her glare is different. It's not It's different. Yes, it's different. The first time I met her, I feel that this lady can become a very good model, and now she's one of the top in Malaysia. As I mean, pre-COVID season, because now everybody can't do catwalks. So she's now the most sought after Asian look, Chinese look in Malaysia. So the one in the lady in the red, she just give out a very classy and very educated and very well mannered and very uh let me think of that word, and very well well brought up lady of a rich class, rich family, something like that. With her smile, with her difference, with her different smile, she radiates that kind of aura. I can feel her, so I asked her to become this model. By the time of this shoot, she is zero experience. Yes, she is a doctor, and then I just asked her whether you become my model, and the rest is history. Okay, any questions?
Luis, do you use any flash indoor?
Yes, I do use flash, one flash only for each photo.
Flash, is it from your camera or?
No, it's okay. For the right one is the para. For the left
Okay.
one is what's the name already? Leitmotif. Yes, Illingrom leitmotif.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, for the left one, the light came from the left, and then for the right one, the light came from the right side. Okay. Okay, getting the right costumes. Costumes are great addition and feel booster. You wear the costumes, and then you will feel you will feel it. Getting the right costumes will catapult the feel up to a whole new level. It's like wearing normal clothes and air. What's the name already? I call that thing. Period costumes. Yes, period costumes from the olden days or something like that. It makes you feel classical. So it represents a theme and bring the audience into the narrative. In TVs and dramas nowadays, more and more budget are poured into creating elaborate costumes. Yes, when you watch dramas and movies, you will saw the costumes is so elaborate because they pour in millions and millions to just to create that costumes. In one of my previous shots, the talents have such a great natural look, and by matching the right costume, the production team is as if were transported to that period of time just by looking at her walking into set. Yes, when she have done changing into that costumes when she was walking into the set, the whole team was amazed with the feel. But if a talent is not able to carry a particular costume, will reverse effect. Costume overshine talent. Yes. Okay. In my experience, I saw photographers doing donning a royal costume, no, a queen costume onto a more talent that cannot carry the regal look of a queen. So the costume pop out too much and the talent cannot support it. So the first thing that we as audience see is the costume and not the talent. The talent is so called swallowed up by the costume. The costume overshone the talent. So it came to another parts of the location. Some location is also too grand and the talent cannot handle it and get swallowed up by the location, and then as audience we just see the location first or just see the location only and need to search for the talent because she's so-called disappeared into the background. Yes, let me show you. Okay, this is the two photos that I shot. Okay, the one that I am talking about is on the left, no, on the right. The right, when she walk out from the changing room, she's just, the whole production team is just like teleported back into that kind of era with that location, that kind of location and atmosphere. The feeling is very different and unique. And then we feel that is as we feel that is very special. Yes. And then some of my friends just can't help it and shoot more than me. Yes, it's too strong, the feel. Yes, I keep a heels because I don't want to keep it totally period. We are not shooting drama. We are shooting photos. I keep it grounded in this time in 2000. At that time is 2018. We keep it grounded at 2018. We don't want to go back to 1918. Yes. Okay, on the left side, let me see again. Costumes, yes, costumes. On the right, on the left side, this is a costume worn by the lady, the wives of the imperial officers back in the Qing dynasty. So with this kind of clothes, this is a real antique, which is more than 200 years old. When the wives meet the emperor, when the wives of the officers went to meet the emperor, they need to wear this to wear this to show respect. So this is one kind of the formal wear of the wives of the officers. Let me have a look. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So on the left side, this costume is the opera costume with the feathers and all. So why this costume can bring out the feel, because the jagged look, like it is jagged out. So the look makes the talent much bigger, much fiercer, and much intimidating. Wearing this costume, it boosts out the theme. It boosts the feel much more, and then coupled with the angles of the shoots, it boosts it even more, and then it feels very strong. For the whole photo, it feels very strong. The expansion, yes, the expansion of the feel, like the wide explosion explosion have jagged sides. So this I do it jagged sides too. Okay, on the right side, this is a real antique costume. It is a real dragon robe worn by one of the brothers of the Qianlong Emperor back in 250 years ago. It somehow make its way to Malaysia and then is under the collection of an antique collector. So I happen to know him, so I get to borrow this costume for my shoot. Any questions? Any questions?
This so far I didn't see any question. You can continue.
Okay,
If any question, I will inform.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, getting the right makeup. Besides photographer, the most important element in the shoot will be the makeup artist. Yes, the makeup artist is just need to be as good as the photographer. His or her makeup skills will either boost or sink the effect. Yes, I have seen makeups that sink the effect of the photographer. So choosing the right makeup artist for yourself is very important. There's no right or wrong, and there's no good or bad. It's just right or wrong. Every different type of photographs require different makeup. Some good makeup artists do not learn some certain kind of niche, NICHE, niche makeup, because he or she feel that it's not required. That she's not bad, just that she did not learn that kind of special makeup that the photographer need. So happen. So on the safe side, meet up with him or her, make sure that he or she is able to meet your requirement. Yes, let her or him see what you need. See your mood board, see your samples. Yes, samples. Find samples online. Find makeup samples online. What do you need? Or if you have a bit of makeup skills, you can draw it out and say what kind of eye makeup you want, combined with what kind of cheek, what kind of lip, what kind of forehead, or whatever. Special effects makeup is for movies, bridal makeup, opera makeup, personal makeup, everything is different. So when you want to shoot zombie, special makeup, special effect makeup. If you want to do bridal portfolio, so it's bridal makeup. If you want to do opera, like just now, that one is different. Personal makeup is also different. So everything is different. Find the makeup artist that suits your needs. As a photographer, don't forget to shoot 1 to 2 pieces of close up to show the skills of makeup artist. It complements their skills. Yes, whatever it is, give back to them and thank them for their work. Some makeup artists will take opportunity to show her new ideas. Yes, the makeup artist who work with me created her new ideas and drew it out. As I said, I want to do the opera team, and then she go and do her homework, and then I am very touched because she is willing to show her new ideas and improve herself. in the same time, the photographers does too. Yes, as photographers, in the same time, we improve too. We improve together. So support and help each other to achieve a new level. Yes, we support each other. The whole team supports each other. The makeup artists, the photographers, the costumes, everybody, the costume providers. So it is a win-win situation or win-win situation or quadruple win situation.
Uh,
Yes.
Louis, sorry to interrupt. Can you check your webcam because I cannot see you. Oh,
Okay. Let me check this. Let me check. Okay. Oh, sorry, the webcam is got loosened. Give me a minute.
okay. Maybe you just switch off the video for Zoom and switch this on again.
Oh, okay. Switch off the video from Zoom. Ah, okay, okay.
Then you switch on again.
Let me, okay. Stop sharing the screen, right?
No, just your webcam.
I need to stop this full screen first. Give me a minute. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I can see you now. Okay. Welcome back, your best.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You may
So
continue.
this photo on the left is done back in 2012. Yes, it's 9 years ago. So this makeup artist, she came out with some really different makeup. You see the glitter on her eyes, and then it is, I did not see much people doing it nowadays. I don't know whether it's a trend back then or whatever. But she is willing to try this special effect. I mean, she's willing to try this effect. So it complements the photos. So I'm thankful to her for that. Okay, for the right side, this one is the makeup artist. She really, after the normal makeup, normal opera makeup, she put a layer of acrylic paint on top of the makeup, so it is shiny. Yes, so it's shiny. It is a bold decision because acrylic is not too safe for the skin. So just before the makeup is done, you just put it on the top layer uh, and separate it from the model's skin, so the model will be safe from the acrylic. This is the risk she the makeup artist took. This is shoot back in 2015 Chinese New Year. So actually, this is her house. We do a few shots in her house before leaving out, and then I found this very nice. So I take this photo nice and unique, and the makeup is very special too. So I took this photo as my samples. Oops, give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So about the makeup one, any questions? No questions, then I will proceed to the next one. Okay. Getting the right props. Uh, props is, people think that props are just for the talent to hold it or put in aside, yes. But it's also a very nice addition to the photo. Made the talent hold it, post by it, etc. There's some time that the talent, it either matches up with the talent or the talent matches it, yes. Some of the props is very important, so the talent matches it, yes. And some of, there's rarely, sometimes, but rare, the prop is the main, and the talent is just to match it. The talent is the side focus, main focus, side focus, yes. Depends on, yes, depends on emphasize the photos. Search for nice and realistic props is a challenge. As a photographer, it's good to keep potential items of props for the time when the need arises. Yes, I kept a lot of props, and sometimes I collect dust. If it's not too expensive, I just give it away to my friends or who wants it to for their own shoots. I just give it away after I did my shoot, because it's really, some of them is really bulky, not heavy, just bulky, and take up a lot of space. But the props is necessary. So recycling used props is also a practical way to save money for new props. Yes, I do recycle some props. Like after 3 to 4 years, you you dig out the props in your storeroom or whatever, and then say, hey, I have a new idea for this thing, so let's do it. Visit flea markets or antique markets. Yes, antique markets. You know, the China people who came to Malaysia and set up their own antique markets. There are a lot of choices that may open up your ideas. Central Market is one of the best. Yes, Central Market. You can go Central Market and walk around and find whatever. There's also a few antique markets, antique shops in Central Market that you can get your own props. Flea markets, I remember there was one at Mcott Mall. I don't know whether it's still there or no. The basement, Mcott Mall. Can go there and find. It's different. It's different kind of of things. Central Market got, but Mcott Mall also have its different thing. The if you want the China ones, it's at Imbi Plaza. No, it's at Pudu Plaza. Yes, Pudu Plaza. Yes, YL Pudu Plaza. That spot. You guys can go there, have a look after you service your camera or just buy a new camera or whatever. Knowledge of certain things will be needed if the required prop is unavailable, and subsequent piece have to be evaluated whether it can produce the same effects or aesthetics as the original intended piece. This is a quite deeper knowledge about props. When the props is not available, you need to find something that can substitute that piece of prop. Like let me think, props. Yes, swords. Yes, swords. If you don't have samurai swords, maybe you can find and another type of swords and change the costumes to match with that sword. Yes, this is something when the required prop are unavailable. Okay. Okay, this one is what I did. Okay, this photos on the photo on the right side you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pieces of prop on her 4 arms, 4 hands. The hand on the top left is a pearl, not a ping pong ball or not an egg. If the pearl is not available, you can change it with a ping pong ball or an egg. This is a fun. It may sound funny, but it is the most practical thing that you can do if you can't find a pearl. Yeah. So these 4 pieces of props, I just go to the flea market or antique, so-called antique shops, and go and find it until I get it. So the one on the left side is a fan. This is a fan, but this fan with this kind of wording is kind of by chance. So happened that the studio I rented have this fan inside their prop box. Yes, they have boxes of props, and there I found this inside. So it really complements the pictures and just suits the whole look. About the fan, now it's gone by the suits. The next one of the next time I went to the studio is not there, so no more. Okay, any question for props?
Louis,
Yes.
I have a Ali. He asked that the question is how much of the post processing are done in your photos?
Which
I
one?
know which one. I think he didn't mention, but he mentioned that I know we will always correct the unbalanced and undesired elements in your photo. So I think we refer to generally how much of the post processing are you done in your photos. Photos mean all the photos.
Oh, okay. For the most post processing is this one on the right. For the left is the ring, the ring, the tree, and then the lotus flower, the word. Just that. The rest is natural. Okay, give me a second. It is going okay. Post processing for the right one. This one is I changed it to drawing style. Drawing style. Yes, sorry, painting style. I changed it to painting style. I want to make it look more painting, so it matches the artistic feel of the opera. So for the left one, I darken and blur the mirror frame because but by that time I was not as good. I made this mistake then that the mirror frame overshines the model, so I darken it and then I blur it so people will see the model first and not the mirror frame. Okay, post processing the smoke. The smoke is post processed because by that time the the smoke machine broke down due to wear and tear. I did not check the smoke machine beforehand. That was my mistake. So I have to use smoke post processing. But the background is real words written, handwritten by a calligraphy master. Okay, for the left side, there's a bit of walls and doors yes, doors of the door of the studio is visible on the top left before, but after that I removed the door Okay, for this one, I flip the right part of the photo into the left to mirror it. Just the hanging light and not the table. The table I did not edit it. The hanging light. So as you can see, the photo on the left is same as the photo of the right. I just mirror it and mask it out. And then the clothes I so call restore it digitally. Yes, the original code is still worn out. I just restore this codes digitally, adding saturation and vibrance and restore anything that is worn out. Okay, for the left part, for the left photo, the clothes I did not touch it. The wall I changed the tone to match to match by that time 2017 there's a trend to shoot this kind of uh, photos with this kind of tone, this of classic tone. So I changed the background into this kind of classic tone with adding textures, quite a number of filters and stuff. So the wall I make it this kind of papery color and not the original orangey color. The original papery empty part is orangey, as it is a real backdrop drawn by an artist. So for this part, also for the photo on the right, uh, also the same process like the one I changed the color of the backdrop, the empty parts, I mean the negative spaces. I changed it. Yes, I changed it along with the rocks and the birds color. But I also put 50% or 30%. I forgot how many percent. I know it's less than 50% on the model itself to blend in the color of the costumes together with the backdrop, because the costume is red and then it pops up a lot. It pops up a lot. So I blend it so it does not pop up so much, but in the same time it is still visible red. Okay, for the left side, actually the hair of the strands of the models, the strands of the hair is not as beautiful. Some other photos have more strands and some has less. So I pick this, which I focus on the face first, and then I take strands of hair from others photo and mask it here. So I remember one or two strands of hair is not belong to this photo. Okay, this one I edited a lot. Okay, I tone down the color, the vibrance and saturation of the background. I tone it down so it will not be distracting. And then I tone down the brightness too of the background, and then in the same time this photo is actually a test light photo which does not have anybody inside. Yes, this girl is not standing here. This girl is standing somewhere else. But after that, I realized that this photo is very good. Oh, I forgot. Actually, there's 5 stone steps. One stone step is behind this, and that is visible. So I remove it and make it look more balanced. Yes. So this girl, I cut it out from the other photo and transfer it here, and then added shadows to make it more more realistic, as if it's not Photoshop. Okay, on as you see the bottom part, the uh, bottom part, where the cloth is half see-through, it there I quite takes a number of effort to make it, to change the half see-through background and merge it with this photo. Quite a number of time editing. Okay, for this one, the model itself, the place is very big, but the model itself, the model is tall, 175 cm, but in comparison to this place, 175 is still not enough. So I shot two photos. One is her bigger, and then one is original with this scene. So I take the bigger one and mask it over the smaller her. So this one, if it is shot in one photo, this model will be at least 190 or 195 cm. But she's 175. So I did not enlarge her, because enlarging it will cause quality drop. So I will take the photos of the photo from another photo, her image from another photo and transfer into this photo. And because the original her in this photo is much smaller, this edited one will cover the original one perfectly. Any more questions?
Luis, so far no question. So I think it's I think now it's 3 p.m. So we have coming up guest guest of speaker to do the sharing as well. So Luis, is it the end of your slide?
No, it's just half, because it's just half. So what if I make it this part 1 and part 2 on the next month?
Yeah, can, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, that's why you will continue the sharing. So I hope members can continue to watch it on in the Facebook Live next month.
Okay, sure.
So okay, thank you today for your sharing. So can you
Thank you, Louis.
end your Luis? Can you end your screen sharing?
Yes.
Thank you, Louis.
You're welcome very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, welcome, Rachel.
Hi, Gray.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
Luis.
Hi. Long time
Hey
no
guys,
see.
good to see you guys, everyone here again, virtually. Okay. So it's great to be here again, and thanks again to Adi and David for inviting me to be here again one more time to share my knowledge about photography. So should I start getting into the sharing session, or?
Yes, please. So
Okay.
today let me have a quick highlight for today's meeting. So we have after Mr. Greg Charles sharing for post-processing for landscape photography, we have a member sharing by Mr. B.H. Gore for her wintry photography experience. So members, please stay tuned with us to watch the sharing. Okay, so Mr. Greg Charles, you may share your screen to start the sharing.
Okay, so just give me a minute. Let me just. Okay, so okay, can everyone see my screen here? You should be able to see my Lightroom.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep. Great.
So, okay, let me just have a slide too. Let me just make it full screen. So today the topic I'm going to talk about the post-processing for landscape photography. Okay, so I think that nowadays, right, everything is like you have to go through editing. So editing is kind of important and it helps to enhance the photo. But of course, no doubt that it's also equally important to focus on capturing a good photo. It's like cooking, you know, you need to have a good ingredient, then only you apply the recipe, you apply salt and those kind of the spice and those kind of stuff, then only you come out a good dish. Okay, so the same thing for photography. So here I'm going to talk about a few misconceptions about editing, and also I'm going to demo to you guys. I got 4 scenarios here, so hopefully I'm able to end everything in time. Okay, so yeah, so by the way, in case you guys are not familiar with me, so I'm Hui Chao, travel landscape photographer, so and also a workshop tutorial. So without wasting more time, let's get into today's topic. So the first thing that when everyone talk about editing, right, they will say that the photo is fake. So how many of you have often heard of this word? Okay, not to against anyone, you know, but I think it's kind of common. But you know, for example, like this one here. So okay, so for example, like this photo here, this was one of my photos in the early beginning. Okay, so definitely it's awful. So you know, so you can see that of course it look fake. Of course it look fake. Why it look fake? The color is oversaturated, and the contrast is like it's very harsh. You can see the shadow here is very harsh, no detail, and it's like it doesn't look real at all. Definitely this is fake. Okay, and why people say fake? Okay, and when they see someone do the editing, okay, for me, right, why the photo look fake is not because that the photo is edited. Okay, it's not because that the photo is photoshopped. Okay, a lot of people say that photoshopped. Okay, so it's actually because that the person that do the editing, the skill is not there yet. Okay, I'm going to say it in a very frank way. So the skill is not there yet. Like me, you can see that it happened to me before. And I still remember during the time that when HDR was just started, started to get adopted by a lot of photographers. So that time you will see a lot of photos like this, okay? And compared to the previous photo here, this photo definitely has more detail. But why it looks fake? Okay, it looks fake because there are a few reasons. One is that the photo lack of contrast. Okay, when you use the HDR technique, or even though now you can also create this kind of photo, so it's very common for people to make a lot of this kind of mistake. One is that why it looks fake, because that it lost the contrast. Supposedly here should be bright, and there's some shadow area, but you can see that basically everything is just brightened up. When everything is brightened up, it looks flat. Okay, it looks flat. And when it looks flat, that's one thing. Another thing is that it's oversaturated. You can see color everywhere. Not only you have yellow color got saturated, you have green color, you have red color, it's just full with color. The color here is just overwhelming. Okay, when you look at the color that the photo is very, very saturated, I think I would say that oversaturated, then you feel that not comfortable. Okay, of course, it look impressed on the first sight. A lot of people still do it this way, that they purposely make it oversaturated, because on the social media they'll get a like. Because nowadays people view the photo in a like in a what we say, in a fast food way. They just browse it, okay, nice, just like, and move to the next photo. They didn't go into detail. But if you look at it for a longer time, you'll feel like the what they call is like the vision fatigue. I'm not mistaken. So you'll get tired and get sick of this color. And one more thing about why it looks fake, because he bring out too much detail. Okay, this is also one of the common mistakes that a lot of beginners make when they start to apply editing. They try to, especially on Lightroom, they apply clarity. Okay, a lot of people like to push clarity slider because it helps to bring out a lot of detail, a lot other than sharpen the photo, it also bring out the contrast. But you can see that it bring out all those mess here, all those dirt here. You don't want people to focus on all those things here. So this is why people say that the detailed photo is fake. Okay, instead of following this kind of style, which definitely I not recommend, we should aim for something like this. Okay. The photo is edited, but it can still look soft, clean, pleasant, and natural. Okay, so you can see that compared to the photo, right, I have a contrast. Okay, although this photo is full with detail, it conceals a lot of detail. Different photographers have different style. Some photographers focus on mood, instead of detail. Me, I focus on detail and also the color. So you can see my style here, right? Even though darker shadow always has some detail. Okay, but the trick here is that even though I contain detail in the highlight, in the shadow everywhere, I still maintain the contrast of the photo, because contrast is originally how you capture the scene. You can see that we have the bright light here, the light ray here, and the beautiful sunlight the sidelight fall on this Buddha statue here. Okay, and we also have the nice shadow here. So, and I not overcook the shadow. If you overboost the shadow, it's going to look harsh. Okay, so it look harsh, so we're not going to do that. We're going to go to a point that where you have a very nice contrast and the photos still look very clean and pleasant. Okay, so you can see the nice light here, and it's not oversaturated. You can see how I process the color here. So I pick the main color tone. Usually when I edit a photo, I will pick a main color tone. For example, like this photo, I want it to be yellow. So I'm going to make it warmer so that it can help to emphasize the feel of the sunset. Okay, you can see that when I make it warmer, so I have a nice color here. Okay, some people make it like, you know, maybe a little bit like in the middle, then they saturate, the blue gets saturated, the yellow gets saturated, and the red gets saturated. That's not what we want here. Okay, so we want to make it a singular tone here. So here's another example here. You can see we have very, very nice contrast. This one a bit strong, but it's still okay. So, and you can see that in terms of the color, right, I'm not getting every place saturated. So here, main color are two colors. So I think my side is a bit hanging, right? Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, maybe my webcam is not working. Let me just try, because I saw my video is pausing. Okay, let me just change to using the normal webcam. Okay, so normal webcam. I was setting.
Yeah,
now
it's good now.
Yeah. Okay, so just give me a minute or so. Sorry for trouble. I just set up my DSLR for today, the first day here. Maybe it ran out of battery, I guess. So just choose a virtual background so that you guys won't get distracted. And this. So I think my face a bit too bright. Okay, let's proceed. Let me just back on the topic here. So okay, so just now where was I just now? So I talk about the color. So you can see the main two color tone. So main two color tone here, yellow and blue. Okay, and the focus on saturating. I'm only saturating the yellow color, the warm color here to bring out the warm feel here that's spread out by the light. Okay, and the blue and yellow is always a good color combination. Okay, if you study the color harmony, the color schema and those kind of things, blue and yellow always works the best. Why? Because these two colors are on the opposite side on the color wheel. They are opposite against each other. So like white balance, blue or yellow. So the same thing. So if you have the blue and yellow together in the photo, you create this kind of thing called color contrast. Okay, so that's why it's like competing in each other. So you create a strong contrast and it makes the thing stand out a lot. So that's why blue hour for cityscape is always the best, because blue hour match the yellow artificial light from the buildings. Okay, so Also, if you want to double check on my statement, you want to verify my statement, it's very simple. You just search blue and yellow movie posters. You can see plenty of examples, okay, on the Google. So it's very, very common. They used by designer in design and edit the color. So another example here, okay. So you can see that clean, this unlike the color, like now I have multiple colors, but still the photo look clean and colorful because the colors should stay saturated. For example, you know, let's say the fireworks. We all have this common understanding that fireworks should be more colorful, okay, which is normal, that it should be more saturated a bit, and the rest on this area should not be too saturated. Okay, so that's why you need to control the saturation level. So that's why if you choose to edit a photo, you just pull the saturation the saturation slider, then you're going to like how to say damage your photo. Okay, you're going to overcook the photo a lot. So, and another misconception I want to clarify here is that a lot of people think that editing means that a lot of adjustment, complex adjustment, which partially true. Okay, partially true, but that's very, very depending on the photographer that do the editing. So it depends on what you want to create. There are photographers they focus on simple editing first, and there are also photographers focus on a lot of more advanced editing. So it depends on what kind of style that you want to pick. So I'm going to demo to you guys using a very, very simple editing, but you can see that how much able to change the photo, okay, and from there you have a better understanding why I encourage people to do editing. Okay, so let's just stop the slide now. Okay, so I'm going to use this photo as an example here. You can see that let's just share a little bit about the concept of editing. Okay, it's same as how you take the photo. So usually when people open up a photo, they direct it into all these slider and try to adjust everything here. So I don't recommend people to do that. Why? Why? Because before you apply any adjustment, it's important that you need to look at your photo first. You need to do the analysis first. You need to analyze that. What is so great about this photo? Why you take a photo, why you like about the photo and what you don't like about the photo. For example, I like this rolling here, the green field here, green yellow here, because they have a very nice depth here. Okay, they show a sense of distance. This is closer, this is in the middle ground, this is somewhere in the far there. And what I don't like is here. So here I don't like, this is very, very distracting. So nothing very interesting about this one. I have no choice to shoot at this focal length because I don't want to crop like this. If I go zooming more, it's going to be like this. Okay. If it be like this, I felt like, you know, it doesn't really showcase that how huge the rolling hill is here. So I don't like that. So that's why I stick to here. And I'm going to do something about this later. So try to make it less distracting. And I like the house here. I like the highlight here. And I'm going to try to emphasize it to make it more pop. So that's the objective here. You need to be clear of what kind of objective that you want here. And the composition wise okay, I felt like the composition is not so great here, I mentioned, so I'm going to fix that later too. So after you do the analysis, then only you know that what kind of adjustment that you need to apply. A lot of people get carried away by all those kind of advanced editing. See, the things that you want to create a good photo, you need to know those advanced editing like luminosity masking, time blending, exposure blending, those kind of stuff, but it's wrong. It's wrong. It's always bad on your photo. Okay, so you need to focus on your photo first, then you know what kind of adjustment that you need to edit. So the same thing also, let's start with correcting the composition first. But before that, I always enable these two. Okay. So mine was using, I was using a Nikon D7 and using a Nikon 24 lens. Usually you will automatically load the lens profile, but if it doesn't, you can just pick from the drop down here. Okay, so next, back on here, I'm going to correct the composition here. So I won't say it's the very best way to crop a lot of this a lot portion of the frame, but you can see that by cropping out the top here and the bottom, the photo look cleaner. Okay, the photo look cleaner, and people will focus more on the here, and that's my main subject here. Same as taking photo. Before you start to press the button, you need to know that what you want to capture. Okay, so if you don't know what you want to capture, then that's why your composition everything mess up, because you don't know what's your main subject. You need to decide that what is your main subject, what is the secondary subject, or maybe foreground subject, this kind of stuff. Okay, there are some subject you can include in your frame to help to make your main subject more pop, like trail, like something, a rock here or leaf here as a foreground subject. But this foreground subject should not overpower your foreground subject, your main subject here. So that's why you need to be focused on that. The composition also need to base on that here. Because if I look at your composition, I can't tell that what you want people to focus on, then something wrong with your composition. Okay, so this is also why I always say that sometimes a simple composition is always the best composition. So the same things fall on here. So you can see that I crop out this photo and everyone focus on the main subject here. And let's explain a little bit about the composition here, why this one doesn't work here. Because if you look at, usually when you look at the composition, right, you try to split it into a few sections. So this part here, one section, this part here is one section, and the mountain here is another section, and the sky is one section. We have four sections here. So sometimes I feel like it's like clutter because we have too many sections here. And usually if you follow rule of third, you can see 1, 2, 3. That's why usually like 1/3 of sky or 2/3 of foreground. So we can use that also from here. You can see that by cropping out here. So you can see that this one is like 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. Okay, so that's all we want here. So it make it more, how to say, simple and cleaner. Okay, so 3 part. Okay, so next we're going to do the editing. So I'm not going to explain more into into this technical thing. If let's say if spending too much time already, that I may not have time to share whatever I want to share on today's session. So focus on understand the concept first. Okay, understanding concept, because all those technical thing and slider or adjustment that I use here is just technical. You can find on the internet. You can ask me later. Okay, so here the concept is the key here. Okay, the concept is why some photographer are able to come out a good photo. Some other photographer that learn the same technique but cannot come out the same photo. Okay, so here top to bottom, I think the way they arrange the slider is very meaningful. So the first thing I want to adjust is usually I start with the color balance. And I want to show you one thing. Okay, look at the photo here. When you do the adjustment here, don't look at the slider. A lot of people say that like +10, +15, +20, don't care about that. Okay, whatever change, you should focus on what kind of adjustment, what kind of change it applies to the photo here. Okay, so here notice this. It's just a simple correction, but this is going to make the photo a lot of difference. So I'm going to warm out the photo. And let's try to, after you adjust this one, then use this one to fine tune the color. You can make it green or more purple. So this is more like personal preference. So let's try. So I think sometimes I like green, sometimes I like purple. So it's depending on my mood also, because it's like, it depends on how you feel at the time. So I think I like to make it here. So always focus on here. So I think this is just nice. And notice that, okay, just changing the color balance, suddenly this photo turned alive. You can see that suddenly like the field is glowing. Okay, do you guys agree? If you guys agree, type yes in the chat there. Or just raise your hand if you guys agree. Okay. So do you guys agree that you can see the difference that by changing the color, show that the photo suddenly, yes, it look good. Yeah, because why? This is a simple correction. Okay, I'm not talking about enhancing, I'm just talking about correction. Okay, because sometimes we take the photo, even though you use auto white balance, it can go wrong. If you're using manual white balance, you may not be that accurate also. Okay, so sometimes you go back home, you just tweak a little bit, then you found that actually warmer is better and colder is better. So this is why it's important to always tweak your color balance first. Okay, and you can see that I can try to also go further. So some people like this one. Some people, I think it's too yellow, but depend on your preference. But at least you know that what you want to bring out here, which is the yellow and green here. And why the original photo looks so flat. Why this original photo looks so flat? Just changing the color only. Okay, this, like I say, that this is because of the auto color balance. And if especially when you're taking photo in a cold environment, the photo tend to come out more blue. When it's getting blue, what will happen? Like say blue and yellow against each other. If you go blue, you will neutralize the yellow. So you are losing yellow color. So that's why it doesn't really always reflect to what you see or what you feel at that time. Okay, so that's why you shoot in RAW, you can easily correct that in the post-processing. But you shoot in JPEG, you have to be very, very careful with the color balance. Okay, it's off, it's very, very hard for you to adjust back. Okay, so that's why you can simply just change color balance, the photo turns a lot better, just like that, simple editing. Okay, I'm not talking about very complex editing. Okay, so the rest, like, okay, exposure. So should I get in brighter or darker? Just try. If you're not sure, just pull out here. The eyes focus on here, not here. Okay, so for me, I think the original one is just fine. Contrast, because you can see that we already have very harsh shadow here. And let's try. Okay, if you're not sure, definitely too much. So I'm not going to put it down because the original shadow is too harsh here. So highlight, okay, highlight is basically affecting all the bright area. Okay, so highlight is same. So you can just pull up and down and see what the kind of changes it makes to the photo here. Okay, so just bring down. I like to bring down because you can see that this originally, this one here look, I think haze. So basically it looks soft at the background here. It looks soft at the background here. It doesn't really align. So never mind, we can fix that later. So let's bring down a little bit here. You can see that if you bring down the highlight, okay, so just bring down a little bit here. Shadow, you can see that I want to bring back some detail, but not too much. You bring back like this look HDR. Okay, last time in old day HDR, you need to use multiple photos to combine together for HDR. Nowadays, because our camera has a better dynamic range now, so you can just pull all the way the shadow up, highlight down, fake HDR. The photo look fake. Okay, because it lost the contrast here. So be careful with that. Okay, be careful with that. So here, when you bring up, okay, just check. Okay, of course, don't focus on here. Always focus on here, the eyes. Okay, I think just nice. Okay, we still maintain the contrast here, and we're able to recover some detail. So white is to further fine-tune the highlight to keep things simple for you. Okay, white is basically mean the brightest area. Highlight is the bright area. White is the brightest area. So I use this one. Then I see whether should I go down further or should I just adding back the contrast. So I think I should go down further. So black, same as highlight and white. So black is matched with shadow. So use shadow to adjust all the dark area. Then you use the black to further adjust the darkest area. Okay. So for example, should I bring down? If I go down, then you will bring back the contrast, which I don't want. Okay. So I'm going to go out a little bit. Okay, but if you go out too much, the photo look flat again, look weird again. So be careful with that. So texture. Okay. Before I go to check texture, we talk about clarity first. Clarity, if a lot of things you put too much, this photo going to look like this. Okay, the color got washed out. The contrast, like you add a lot of contrast and add a lot of sharpening to the photo, it's just ugly. Okay, it's awful. Okay, so don't do that. A lot of people like to push clarity. If you want to use clarity, just add a little bit. Okay, if you don't want to use Photoshop or any other kind of like more advanced sharpening technique. So texture, this is something that you can go further. Texture is like focus, clarity is like focus on the large detail. That's why if I pull out the photo, bring out a lot of detail, and you can see obvious changes there. But texture, if I pull all the way up, you can see that it's just only the small detail that got sharpened. Okay, so that's why you can push further, and the photo still looks natural, not over sharpened, and still look very natural. And you can see that it's sharp here. Okay, just a little bit here. Vibrance, up to you guys. Okay, and saturation is same as clarity and texture. So saturation, if you go all the way up, everything goes saturated. Don't do that. Don't do that here. Okay. So if you want to add saturation, only a little bit, or you can add vibrance. Vibrance will focus on the less saturated area first. You can see you try to bring out the color here first, then only back on those saturated areas. Yeah. So if you want, just add a little bit here and yeah, just slightly, because you can see originally just changing the color balance, the photo is very saturated already. Okay. Oh, you mean this one here? Is it better? Okay, I saw your note, your tag, so I guess. Okay. So now I think let's bring back a little bit shadow. I think that's nice. Okay. So anyway, after you've done adjustment, you feel something not right, you can always go back here to readjust. Okay, always check the result and readjust or fine tune it. So the next thing we're going to do, you can see that just simple adjustment, the photo look a lot different. Simple adjustment. If you don't want to go with a very complex adjustment, just stop here. This is fine. Okay, nothing very complicated here. This just help to correct the photo, help to make your photo better. There's several reasons why you need to sharpen, and because originally when you take the photo at that time, certain sharpening were lost in due to the lens, I think it's due to the lens, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I can't remember what's the technical reason behind already. That's why we need to like add back a certain sharpness to like compensate back whatever sharpness that you lost, to add back the sharpness here. Okay, how to see the original image? Just click on the slash button. I think this one is backslash. So and before and after. Okay. So here. So if you want to go for something furthermore, do selective adjustment. Selective adjustment actually is the key that makes your photos different than other photographer. Why I say, because overall adjustment is something very common, but selective adjustment is something based on your style and the thing you want to do here. Okay, everyone has different preference. So even though you learn it from someone else, it doesn't mean that you're able to copy exactly 100% the same, because you won't feel like doing it. Okay, if you have your own style, you have the things that you like, the things that you don't like. So that makes the difference. Okay, so back on here. So, okay, because for example, like this area, we can only fix using selective adjustment. So let's go to here, or local adjustment. So I'm going to go to here. So click on here and drag. And here I'm going to just put down the highlight, because highlight is only affect the bright area. So if I put down the exposure, you can see it has the harsher shadow. It also affecting the shadow area. So usually I try to bring down the highlight first and see how it goes. So if highlight doesn't work, I'll bring down the white. Okay. So if you go all the way down, it looks flat again. Okay. Never mind. You just try to play around. So bring down a little bit and try to desaturate the photo. Because here it's too saturated, because I don't want people to focus on here. There's nothing interesting here. Okay, so this is one thing about the local adjustment. You can choose to make something that less distracting. Okay, and you can decide where you want people to focus on by making some area brighter or some area more pop. Okay, so let's try to desaturate a little bit here. Okay, it looks better. Okay, maybe I can try to tune down exposure, but only a little bit. Okay, try to bring back the contrast a little bit. Okay, I think just now. So if you need, you can add more. You can add more. Just add one more. And try to bring down the highlight again. Okay, and white again. Okay, too much. So let's bring down at this level. Should be just nice. Okay, so now you can see that this is darker and this area is brighter. So people will focus on this area more than here. Okay, another thing is that I can also make changes is here from top to bottom. Okay, so okay, this top area you can also use the dehaze. Dehaze may help. Let me just show you guys here. So if you use the dehaze, go all the way to max, you can see that you're able to bring back the color here. Okay, so you can use this one to help to bring back some contrast and detail here. Or alternatively, you can also do it like my way. Okay, because the haze not only affect this area, it will also affect other area also. So personally, I prefer to use this method. So selective adjustment, and I'm going to add a contrast back. Just bring down the, let's try to highlight. If highlight doesn't work, maybe exposure. Exposure sync works very well here. So I'm going to bring down the exposure and bring back contrast. Okay, so notice one thing that you feel that this area actually appears to be more blue than here. The color doesn't really sync. So if I bring down, if I darken an area, it also saturate a color. So the blue color also showing a lot here. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to warm up the top area, just to make them sync, the color sync to the bottom here, to match it back here. So you can see it look nicer. Okay, simple editing only. Okay, so very simple, but also this can depend on what kind of adjustment you want to create. Sometimes you may also add the color different, slightly different on top and bottom to create different feel. For example, like sky and the foreground. But for our case here, because we want to focus on like endless rolling here, so by darken the top and make the colors in a line with the center color here, it's like the field got extended out all the way to the far end there. Okay, so that's why you can see that the idea is very important here. The concept is important here. The adjustment here is just very, very simple. Okay, so far any question? Okay, so far any question? I think this, if you want to do further adjustment, we can also do it, but let's stop it here. Okay, so I can demo other thing. So any other question? So if no question, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that just now the adjustment that I shared or that I did, is it complicated? Okay, it's not complicated, right? If not complicated, just type yes in the chat there. Okay. Yeah, thanks. So it's not complicated, just a very, very simple editing, but the idea, the mindset is the key here. Okay, thanks. So let's move to the next one. I'm going to share with you guys something a little bit more advanced, but how Photoshop able to help you to get better photo. Because for me nowadays, right, it's like post-processing and shooting come together as one. It's hard to separate, and with them together, you're able to plan and get better photo. So for example, I believe most of the photographer here, travel landscape photographer must have this experience before. When they go to a very famous location, they want to take a photo of a very beautiful scene, then they found that the place is full with tourists. Right? It's very, very common. But to take the photo, other photographer into your frame. Okay? Then wait for a while, suddenly another tourist came inside the frame. So this is very common. So when that happens, what should you do? Okay? If you follow old style, either you just move and forget about this composition and go for another composition. Okay? Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. You don't know. But let's say you want the most classic composition right there, okay, this compo, then what can you do? This is how you can rely on post-processing. Post-processing is like a tool. It's like a tool. Like if you for example, camera, you have different accessory, ND filter, GND filter for different purpose, or panoramic ball head for different purpose. For portrait, you have different tools. So same for post-processing. You have different tools. Post-processing is like a very high level generator, but inside they have many, many ways for you to take photo, to solve different problems. So for example, here, I'm going to share with you guys here. Okay, so look at this photo here. Very common. There are two photos. This photo as a photographer here. Okay, famous Lake Tekapo, Church of the Good Shepherd here. Another photo, someone coming. Okay, so it's very common. So if you wait for until like everyone leave the scene, then the Milky Way may already left the scene also. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. So what can you do? So very simple. When you take the photo at time, you just make sure that all the people appear at different location in the frame. For example, this person is on here, another person is on here. So what I'm going to do here is to make good use of layer and layer mask and digital blending technique. So if you guys are new to Photoshop, never mind. Okay, don't remember all those steps. Okay, just understand the concept here on how I do it. So very simple. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cover it using a black layer mask. So basically, I'm going to take, okay, let me just draw it here. Let me just use draw so that I can explain better. So two photo, I'm going to take this area because this area got no people, and from this photo too. Another one is that I'm going to take this area for photo 1 and then put both together, then the people get removed. So it's very, very simple. So let's do it now. So I'm going to add layer mask here, and I'm going to brush, change the hardness, and brush it here. Okay. Okay. So just like that, you see the person got removed and here. Okay. Let's say if I overbrush 100%, I'll brush, it reveal the person inside this photo, which I don't want. So I'm going to hide it back. Okay. So just like that, you can see that I got a clean photo now. So this is called digital blending. I only take part of this area that is clean without people, and I take another part from another photo without any people there. Then I put both together, I get a clean photo without anyone. So of course, depending on the situation, if you have a lot more people, then you may need to take more photos. But then since you're already there waiting, okay, for people to leave the scene, then might as well take as many photos as possible, then go back, see what you can do. Okay. So someone can mute. So some noise here. Okay. So here, so this is one of the example to remove tourists. Okay, another example I want to share here is that how you're able to capture a light trail. Okay, light trail, you can use any filter, but sometimes there's a situation that, let's say the road is very, very long. 30 seconds may not be enough to capture a full complete light trail. So for example, here, this is very, very simple example here. So if I'm not mistaken, I was using 15 seconds or 30 seconds shutter speed, but you can see that the light trail I got here is not complete. Okay, it's not complete. So it's not complete on this photo here. Okay, so what I can do here, you got two options. One is that you use a longer exposure, maybe 1 minute, but whether can you get it or not, you don't know. Okay. So sorry, I mean how to mute someone. I heard the noise in the background here.
Davey, I think it's boy.
Yeah, it's muted. Yeah, thanks, David. Okay. So here, back on here. So that's why you can see that this is the base photo. So I'm going to blend all these together to create a perfect light trail. So for example, here. Okay. So very simple. Very simple. So what I'm going to change here is going to select this photo. I'm going to change the mode called lighten. Lighten basically means anything that brighter than the below will show on the screen. Okay, again, understand the concept first. Okay, so technical thing you can easily find on internet or anything, or you can ask me later. So here, okay, so by changing the lighten, you can see that what the effect is that the light trail from this photo will show on the screen, and it also affect the top area because the sky is brighter. So we don't want it to affect the sky. So we're going to add a layer mask here, the black color layer mask, and brush to 100% and brush on the bottom to reveal only the light trail. So just like that. And we're going to use the same technique to apply it to other photo. For example, this photo here. So just change it to lighten, add layer mask, and brush on here. Okay. So you can also reduce, just control the area. Let's remove here. Okay. So here, Another example, this one, you can see that we don't want this area, we just want the red color light trail. So I'm going to do the same thing, lighten, add. So if you overbrush an area, for example, like this area, I don't want it, you can always remove it using a black color brush. Okay. So I do it a little bit fast, so not a very precise adjustment, but at least to give you guys a better understanding. So which one I want? Okay, so from here I want here. Okay, so you must choose lighten. I forgot to choose lighten. Choose lighten, and here. So this one, okay, this will have to line up, connect everything here. And oh yeah, only here. So you can see now I got a nicer light trail from all the way from here back to the end. Okay, so can you get in single shot? Can or cannot, I don't know, but definitely it's going to be a lot harder. But if you're able to use this technique, it makes your life easier. There's also one reason that it's a lot harder to create in a single shot what that you can't see here. If let's say you take a photo, let's say just now I was using the photo, I think I was using 30 seconds, so to speak. Let's say you want to go for 2 minutes. 2 minutes to capture a light trail. 2 minutes, when the car comes in that time, suddenly the direction head facing your camera. And if the direction just, let's say, just really like straight into your camera, that time, the lights will go into the camera and cause light flare. Okay, it'll cause light flare and the photo going to get overexposed. So you're going to like do a lot of shooting and some of the photo that cannot be used. Okay, so this is also a little bit trying luck. But if you take multiple photos, like what I'm doing here, okay, you take, then some photo is not okay, just remove it, and then you can just only pick the one that have a nicer light trail and blend together. Okay, so this is one of the trick here. Okay, so how much time I have here? I think I have like. So, okay. So far, understand these blending things before I move to the next one. Okay. If understand, just type yes in the chat there. I like to throw a lot of questions to people. Also to make sure that everyone stay awake. Okay. Okay. So next thing I'm going to share with you how to create something that more unique composition here. So that's why for me this kind of method is like you split the risk. You're able to handle the risk better, and you have a better chance to get a better photo. So another one is called fireworks blending. Okay, fireworks. So fireworks, same thing. You can take multiple photos of fireworks. Okay. So then you can put them together using the same technique. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is that you go through the photo, then you pick some of the next photo. Of course, the main concept is that what you want to show. So you need to understanding what you want to show and what kind of photo that you want to use for this kind of photo here. So for example, for here, I like the fireworks on the top here. So I'm going to use that. I don't like the most here. It's very dirty. So another one here. Okay, this one here is not bad, but a bit overexposed. But what I really like here is that you can see that the lights, how the lights from the fireworks illuminate the buildings here. They have a very, very nice mood here because of the lights here. Very nice light here. And another one here, I like this one bottom here, and I like a little bit like smoky feel here. So I'm going to get some smoke from here instead of using the bottom here. So we can use that and combine into one photo. So the same thing we can apply here. Like for example, before you take the photo, we can first take the background photo first. Why? If you take the background photo, we can go as long shutter speed as we want. Okay, you can go for 30 seconds, you can go for 1 minute. And with that, you can use a lower ISO. You use a lower ISO and you can get a better photo with a better image quality. Okay, because this photo itself is cleaner, it's using a lower ISO. Okay, when photographing the fireworks at the time, you know, usually photographing the fireworks, depending on what kind of fireworks, sometimes 1 or 2 seconds, sometimes 5 seconds, sometimes 7 seconds. So you have to try out. So then you just focus on the setting to capture fireworks. Because let's say for here, I was using like 1 or 2 seconds, and I have to increase the ISO, double or triple the ISO. So definitely the photo itself, we're going to have more noise in this area, but it's fine because I'm going to use the background, which is synced from another photo, which I said previously that was using a lower ISO and longer shutter speed, which have a better image quality also. Okay, so here, back on the fireworks here. So same like what I did here, and I'm going to change it to lighten. Again, whatever brighter than bottom will show on the screen. Then I add a layer mask. Okay, and just paint on the fireworks. Just like that. So let me just change the opacity to have a better transition from 100% to 35%. Okay, so just like that. Okay, but the smoke here, there are a few ways we can reduce the smoke. One of the ways is that zoom in, brush it out one by one, which is going to take time. I did that on my photo because I'm very particular with getting a clean image. Another way is to help to reduce it, which I also apply that to, is to, because just now when I talk about the blend mode, lighten blend mode is whatever is brighter, we're going to show it on the screen. Okay, so because of that characteristic, we're going to make good use of that to reduce the fireworks. So I'm going to create a curve adjustment. Okay, again, like just understanding the concept, this is too complicated. So basically, I'm going to just darken this photo. This clipping mask means that whatever adjustment I apply is not applied to the whole photo here, but only applied to this layer at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to darken it. So you can see that when I darken the photo, it reduces the smoke because whatever is brighter only show on the screen. So I darken the smoke, I'm making the smoke is darker now. So it is darker than this layer, and that's why the smoke doesn't show. The smoke got reduced. So you can use that to help. Okay, so you can see that it helps to reduce the smoke a lot. Okay, so of course you need to go to a point that, you know, like I don't want to bring down too much. I also remove a lot of fireworks, a lot of sparks here, which I don't want. So just bring back a little bit, and maybe like this. And then here only is just trying to fix it. Okay, I'm going to just rough, do it in a rough way. Just remove it. So 35%. Okay. So some area like here, you can go for 100% immediately, no problem. Some area like this, go small, push out. Okay, if you want it to be nice, then you have to zoom in and do it manually. Okay, but here just to give you guys an idea here. I'm not going to aim for perfect brush, but the idea is to let you all understanding like what kind of tools that you guys can use. Okay. Okay, just like that for now. So now, let's go to this one here. Okay, this one. So using the lighten, whatever brighter will show on the screen. So you can see that now I got both two fireworks already, but I don't want the fireworks on the bottom. So I'm going to add layer mask. I only want the lights that fall on the building here. 100%, just to review. Yeah. Okay, to review here. It's okay to overbrush. Okay, no worry about overbrush. Okay, so if overbrush, you can just change to black color, remove it. For example, like this area, okay, and this area. So 25%. This one, remove it. Here, I think you can go for 100% here. 50%. So why I keep changing the opacity? Because I want to have a smooth blending, smooth brushing, smoother stroke. Okay, so that even though I overbrush some area, it still can look natural. Okay, I won't have a very hard edges around the building here, so which I don't want that. So that's why sometimes when you do the adjustment, here's another trick here. Okay, a lot of people, they do the adjustment, they pull all the way up to the result they want. Okay, sometimes it's very tricky, because if you go all the way to the max result that you want, then sometimes when you add another adjustment at time, every adjustment stacked together, you're going to make the photo overcook. So that's why when I do the adjustment at time, I will increase like in a very subtle way. Then if I feel not enough, I can add again. Okay, I can add more layers to again keep adding the contrast, for example. Okay, but if I all the way to the max contrast, then when I add another adjustment at time, it will overcook. So just be careful with that. So same for the brushing. So if let's say 50% not enough, I can brush again one more time. 25% not enough, I can brush again one more time. So that's the trick here. Okay, so 0 here. 25%. When you close the edges, the time, when you close the edges, the time, you should go down the opacity. So that's the trick here. Okay. This is not going to be a very perfect brush here, but so you can see a bit hollow here, but usually I would like go for like here. So just to make sure that you're blending better. Okay, so a little bit to fix here and there. Okay, just like that for now. Okay, so this will need some time up. Okay, anyway, so next one, the last one, open up this one because I'm going to include this photo here. Lighten. Okay, add the layer mask. Okay, so now I'm just going to brush on this area. So let's start 100% first. So 100% at the core of the fireworks, then I reduce it to 25%, so that I have a smoother transition, so that you're able to blend in nicely here. So you can see that I also brush on this area, so you will overlap just now the problem. So it's okay to include it. So just like that, and let's see before. Okay, I think it's just nice here. Maybe just include some here to add some smoke back here, so you can just bring out the atmosphere, the mood of the countdown here. So we can also add the clipping mask, curve clipping mask, to control the number of the smoke we want to appear on the photo, and also add that the contrast to the photo. So just like that, you can see very simple adjustment before and after, but it creates something very, very unique and interesting. Okay, I won't say very simple, but this is a tool that how to create a very unique composition here. So here is the same question. Can you get everything in one single shot? Yes, but you will have a risk again. So because fireworks, sometimes it's very hard for you to estimate that what's the right exposure. Okay, so the best way to photograph fireworks is to underexpose it. Underexpose it, if not enough, then you go back, use post-processing to bring out the detail. But the problem when you underexpose it, the photo, when you underexpose the photo, you add noise to the photo, because noise tend to produce more in the shadow area compared to the highlight area. So this will affect the image quality. Okay, so that if let's say you get an underexposed fireworks, but sometimes the intensity of these fireworks, right, it may not be the same. Sometimes they generate more lights, some generate lesser lights. So if you want to capture multiple in one single frame, you may get the whole photo overexposed. So now again, like how you capture light trail, you split into different frames. Now, then you're able to pick the one that nicely captured, nicely exposed, then blend it together. So this is like a tool, like a technique. So far, so good, everyone. See that?
Yes. Yeah, so far, so good.
Good. So clear and easy to understand, right?
Yeah, we have a question from Value.
Yeah, I saw that. So
Yeah.
photo editing or manipulation, for me, this is called blending. Okay, which is something very interesting. Blending and manipulation. Okay. I think it's a very gray line, but it's up to you on how you define it. Okay, everyone is very, very subjective. Some people say that I want SOC, I cannot have photo editing. Some people say that I can only have basic editing. I cannot have blending. Some people say that I can do blending, but I'm not okay with sky replacement. Sky replacement, they call it manipulation. They add aeroplane, they add this, they add that. But digital blending is that whatever I capture is already on here. I'm not adding something new to this thing. Okay, so of course, digital blending, they also very subjective to people because digital blending, they also a technique called time blending, which they can combine multiple moments of the same thing. But the trick here is that as long as that you don't move your composition, you don't change your composition, then everything can blend in nicely. Okay, so that's why it's up to you guys that how. For me, I think it's okay. In fact, also like digital blending, the basic digital blending, they call it exposure blending, which you use that to recover the sky, and that is acceptable depending on what kind of competition. Nowadays, a lot of competition, they are okay for exposure recovery, the exposure blending. Okay, so that's why. But this kind of tool is help. For example, like this is like a tool because with this, able to help you to get a better photo here. Okay. So any other question? So I hope I answered your question and it's clear. If you want to see the manipulation, I can show you here just for fun. If you have filter, edit. Where is it? Where is that sky replacement? It should be somewhere here. I'm seeing at the wrong place. Where? Let me try to recall. I think I just done it a few days ago. I can't remember. Suddenly I can't remember. What did I overlook? Hey. I'm not so sure why I suddenly can't find the sky replacement. It should be somewhere here. Okay, maybe I did it in my Photoshop and anyway, that's one way. You will just replace the sky. You can pick a sky and replace it. So
I think maybe next time Greg can show us the sky replacement function.
yeah, probably maybe next time.
Yeah.
So now I bet on this. How many time I have left? Just want to be sure.
I think almost
okay.
almost
so
tired.
very, very last one.
Okay.
So just want to show you guys something a little bit more also useful but a little bit advanced. So that's why I don't want to explain that here because a little bit too complicated here. So but I just want to show you guys that what you can do here is like say this is a scene in Bukit Bintang here. So this is the original raw photo. You can see that very nice light trail. But it's also very common that you got this area overexposed, only partial area. Okay, this is very common for when photographing a cityscape because city lights is going to overexpose at night. So that's why using this kind of post-processing, you're able to help to recover the detail, just like that. Okay. So I can even choose that what I want to show here. I don't like our PM face, not to against him. I don't like to have face of politician on my photo. Okay, so I also don't like to have something that funny on my photo because last time I saw there's a very funny advertisement here and I don't want that. So that's why I picked one and I picked this is the weather and all these SOP things and this one here. So you can see that I can recover everything already I captured on the scene here. And then here you apply the processing. You can see that they already have some color here, but it's very, very fade. So I can darken the sky, bring out the color, make people focus more on here, focus on the light trail and those things, then I apply the editing. Okay. Of course, this is more complicated, so it's up to you guys. But like I say that yourself decide how much editing you want to apply. My job here is to share you guys the tools that you can do. Okay, the most simple way, I encourage everyone to do editing because the most simple way, just tweak the white balance, it helps to change the photo a lot. Okay, sometimes your photo also a little bit lost or contrast, you add back the contrast, it helps to make the photo pop back. Okay, so this kind of thing that helps here. So if you guys want to find me, you can check out me on the Great Child Photography Facebook page here. Okay, sometimes I got some sharing there also. Okay, so any other question? So if no question, then just ask everyone. Just keep. So any other questions? So before, I think that's all for my part here. So I think I'll just end this sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no problem.
Greg.
No
Yeah.
problem, thanks. So
Okay. Okay.
you guys have any question, you can let me know.
Okay. Thank you, Greg, for sharing today. I represent Pspj to thank you for your sharing and
Alright.
great support. Yeah. And let me see. Okay. We have coming up. So before Gray leave this room, so I like to clarify that Gray Chow is doing a lot of great landscape photography, and I hope in future Gray can share more photo about landscape photo.
Sure, I would love to. I would love to. Yeah.
So okay, so we have another member sharing from BH Go. Go, are you here?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. So Great Chow are going. Are you staying with us or you
no.
still online?
I think I'm going to leave soon because I have another thing to do.
Okay.
So take care and stay safe, everyone. Hope to see you guys again next time.
Okay. Yeah, we hope to see you again. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay. So coming on next is Mr. Go Bung Hyang. I think it's Go Bung Hyang, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So
you
may
can
share
hear me,
your screen. Yes, I can hear you. Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Okay, yes, nice.
It is enough,
Okay.
or actually, okay.
Can you start the full screen sharing?
Full screen now?
Yeah, good.
Full screen, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for spending a Saturday afternoon with me and with Pspj. Now, this is my first maiden presentation on Zoom. And today, I would like to share with you about a wintry photography experience that I had in the year 2017. Okay. So if anybody have any question, just type in the chat room. I will answer you at the end of the session during the Q&A. Now, my presentation will focus on a few things here. In this wintry photography trip, I will concentrate on sunrise, some photo on sunset, horses, camel, ship, and frozen lake. Okay, and this took place in December 15, 2017. Okay, I took a flight from KLA Airport in the afternoon to Beijing, with me about 9.5 hours. And after reaching there, I took another 8 hours road journey by bus from Beijing to Inner Mongolia. Okay, during the winter time, actually a lot of photographers and even local does not want to go to Inner Mongolia because the temperature is too cold and very punishing, right? And that's why we took about 8 hours to reach Inner Mongolia. But if you go in autumn, more people and more photographer and more car on the road, you can go, take you as long as 11 or more hours to reach the road to ride to Inner Mongolia. Now, how I started this trip, right? Actually, in the year a year ago, that means in December 2016, I saw somebody posted in Facebook about offering a 10 days winter photography trip, to Mongolia. I personally am very scared of cold, even sometimes aircon. Go Genting Highland, I also have to wear many layers. So when I think of Inner Mongolia temperature of -20, -30, oh, it is no, right? But then again, I told myself, the more difficult it is, the more challenging I want to take the challenge. So I took the challenge without thinking very much. I paid deposit, I booked my place, and then I also do not know who is the organizer and who are the people going. I'm going alone, and I traveled solo, and I reached Beijing airport the following day at about 2:30 to 3 a.m. in the morning, and there only I see who was the organizer and who are the people who are joining for this trip. Another 19 photographers from New Zealand, Australia, from Japan, from UK, from US, Singapore, and also Malaysia. And I realized that everybody come with hair, 2 person, 3 person, 4 people. I'm the only one alone, But before I reached the airport, I also was very worried. What if I arrive at the airport and I see no one? How? Or the other second concern I have is, can I survive the cold weather or not? Because when I do my research on the online, it was saying a temperature in Inner Mongolia is only about -20. So to play safe, when I went to the winter shop, I told them I want a winter clothing that can cover until -30. That means I take insurance of 10% more colder temperature. So in case the temperature goes back, So on the day on 15th of December 2017, while I was waiting at lunch, waiting to take my flight to Beijing, my friend, Dr. Tay, called me. Mr. Go, you are going to Inner Mongolia. I have bad news for you. I said, what is the problem? He said, I just got a report from CNN. The temperature now in Inner Mongolia is -48 degrees centigrade.
Oh my God.
I said, my God. Oh, I only prepare maximum extra only -30. Now it's for -48. Okay, so I kept my finger crossed, hoping that maybe the area location we go in the inner one may not be that cold as what CNN reported, So, so when I reached there at the airport, about 2:30, 3 o'clock, then I start to slowly meet one by one all my friends are going to join for this trip. And finally, at the airport, totally closed, no shop, all closed at that hour. We only can rely on one grocery shop selling biscuit and drink to buy our food. So finally, we managed to leave the airport at 4 a.m. A bus came and took 20 of us together with the organizer and off. We began our road journey to Inner Mongolia. And exactly when we reached Inner Mongolia, our destination, the hotel, it was over 8 hours. We just stopped probably 3 or 4 stops just for toilet break, and then we continue. So we reached there after 8 hours. It was very tiring, but after we check in, the hotel, have a lunch at the hotel, we decided that, okay, now it's about do something, right? Do something. I think we can do some afternoon shoot, right? But we didn't realize actually by about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the sky already total darkness, right? So anyway, we go for our afternoon sunset shooting, and it lasted about an hour. Okay, and then okay, let me show you what I bring. These are the camera gear that I brought for this trip. I brought along Nikon D4, and I brought along D7000. My lens, only 2 lenses. I used the wide angle, ultra wide 14-24, and also the tele-zoom lens 70-200. And that's all I have. Although I bought the D850 a few months ago, but no stock, never come. You know, I waited 3-4 months. Waited about 4-5 months. The stock never come because that was a sellout camera from Nikon. It was the best camera and no stock, right? Only after I come back from my Inner Mongolia trip, then only they call me, hey, Mr. Go, your camera D750 come already, you know, too late. Okay, but anyway, it's okay. I had 2 cameras. So tripod, I use Manfrotto 55X Pro, and also I bring a lot of mini tripod from Manfrotto. Forehead, I use Photo Pro. I brought along DC filter, a 3-stop GND, reverse IR, and ND 10-stop, and a polarizer. And I bring a lot of camera battery for my Nikon camera, memory card, CF card, SQD card, and also SD card, along with headlight, ear plug, goggles, and cable release. Okay, and this is the hotel that we stay for the 8 days, right? Okay, because although it's a 10-day trip, but 1 day to go and 1 day to come back, it's only left with 8 days. And this is hotel that we stay here, and this is hotel that provide us for our breakfast, our lunch, and our dinner, all at this place. And if you look at this place, you look at here, the one I show here. These are all the great photographs that were taken by all the master photographers in China, showing horses, showing the wintry photos, right? And there are also many more inside the restaurant, right? And every day is covered by snow and very cold, right? Even in the room, even with all the window and door closed, you find that you can feel the cold, chill wind seeping through the window crevices into the room. Yeah, and they also have what they put additional plastic cover to block out all this cold wind from coming into the room, right? But nevertheless, what we have is this scene is just one of the scenes that, as we move along from the Beijing to Inner Mongolia, and within Inner Mongolia to our daily destination. These are some of the scenes that you see. You see nothing else except mountain, except grassland, but all covered by snow, right? And they're very cold. Okay. Now the temperature in Inner Mongolia at that time ranges from -20 to -30, right? But at certain time, when it's -30 or even -20 something, when it's windy, with strong wind blowing, actually you can add another 10 degrees to that sub-zero because it's so cold, right? And in many of the cases where we are on location shooting, we find that we cannot stand outside in the open for more than 10 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes, we quickly run into our four-wheel drive to shield ourselves from the cold wind blowing on us, although we are already wearing all the thick winter clothing. Like for myself, I wear a 4 layer of clothing, 4 layer of the proper clothing, plus 2 gloves, face hood, the winter cap, everything. Trousers also wear double, gloves also double, right? It's very cold. Okay, this is one of the shot. It's a sunrise, you know. This one, well, 4-wheel drive up the hill, right, up the hill. And then it was, on that day, we say, oh, our organizer and the local tour guide say, today you cannot see any sunrise because it is snowing. It is snowing, so you cannot see any sunrise, right? And it was very cold, you know. And I do not know why I came up of the 4-wheel drive, and a few of those came up on the 4-wheel drive, right? When I came down, I took my camera, I walked down the hill because I saw something that I want to take, some trees, look very, very interesting. So I walked down the slope, which is all covered by snow. The snow is actually can come up to my knee, you know. But I still was so excited. I walked down, you know, and walked down for about I think about 20 minutes, right? And then when I reached the bottom, I looked back, hoping to see my friend. How come I see nobody? Nobody was up on the top. Everybody not to be seen. You know, something must be not correct. So I just take my 1-2 shot. No point, take nothing to see, it's snowing. So I tried to walk up. Oh, that was my greatest and most difficult moment to walk back. You know, because I had to put my feet into the thick snow up to my what they call this knee, and I see nobody. At that moment, I was thinking, how am I? Somebody can help me to pull me slowly go up. You know, nobody was up there. So every 2-3 steps, I just stopped because very hard to breathe. You know, I was finding very panting, very hard to breathe. So I finally took more than half an hour. I don't know how long, but I know it's very long to go out, finally walk. When I walk up, I saw all the 4-wheel drive on top, but nobody. Everybody was hiding inside the 4-wheel drive, and the wind was blowing, you know. And then people look at me, my God, why are you so daring, huh? I said, I don't know, You know. So this is one of the very interesting. But anyway, what happened is at least I experienced, trying to shoot some photo, but I get snow raining down, and I cannot even see what is in front. Probably about 10 feet. Also very hard to see, you know. So anyway, I managed to take a shot of this, and then okay, and these actually are taking during blue hour, snowfall. The wind was blowing. As I walk down the slope to capture the shot, then when I look back, as I just now saying, there's nobody, right? Okay, then after that, we sit down inside the 4-wheel drive for another, I think, half an hour or more, to wait for the snow to stop and for the sky to brighten. And finally, after an hour, this is what, finally after 1 hour, it become like that. You know, imagine the slope, the car was here, I was walking down until around here, down here. When I look up, I see nobody, you see? And then after 1 hour, you see the sky, beautiful cloud, you know? Because I was expecting to see very dramatic sunrise scene up there, but actually it is difficult because even the guide tell me, I cannot give you a definite itinerary because every morning only we decide whether the sun is there for us to see or not. The sun is always there, but the cloud and the snow will make it impossible to see or for it to difficult to take. Okay. Okay. Then the following day, we again go for another sunrise. Again, this is a stream, all frozen, you know. all by snow. But you can see here, this is the water, but it's all hardened. The water all hardened. You cannot see anything, and then I try to squat down, sit down, and take. Okay. Now, when I took this one, I was using my photo mini pot. Mini pot, very small. Mini pot. Why? Why am I using mini pot to shoot this morning sunrise? Very simple. My Manfrotto 55X Pro was frozen the day before. Frozen. The ball head cannot turn, or the lock, the 3-layer lock, all cannot be already seized.
My God.
So in future, anyone go, please bring more than one tripod. So luckily, my what they call this Mini Pro helped me, because why? The Mini Pro is so small, I can put inside my camera bag, right? So I protect the Mini Pro mini tripod from being frozen. But my big one, I carry outside, it's frozen, right? Okay, and then after that, when I look back, I see this. Oh, beautiful, huh? The sun, although I can't see the sun, but the color is so beautiful, right? When I look back, sunrise, very nice hue of purple, pink, blue. Yeah. Okay, and these are some of the sunrise that sometimes quite difficult to get very clear because of the snow and the environment, and also your lens get cold, right? And you must keep on wiping, right? And the other thing is, when you take this picture, normally we look through the viewfinder, right? We look through the viewfinder. But what happens is, because you look at the viewfinder, you're breathing, right? When you breathe out, your breathing get contact on the live view, all blur, cannot get anything, right? Cannot see. And then if I want to use the shutter release, very difficult, because wear one glove, leather glove, is always so difficult to click. I have to wear 2 leather gloves, one over each other, because very cold. My hands are very, very cold, right? And then later I tell you why one of our photographer who used one glove, right? And because he cannot press, he become very creative. He slip half of the hand, the glove, so that he can bend to click. And later I show you what happened to him.
Oh my God.
He only spent 1 day, and the next balance of the day he stayed in the hotel. Something happened to him.
God.
Okay. Okay, and this is the one the shot that after we took our sunrise on the way back, to the hotel, because sunrise we come out about 5 something. Shoot. After that 1-2 hours, we go back hotel. First of all, because the human being cannot tahan the cold weather. Secondly, the camera cannot tahan the cold weather, right? The tripod cannot tahan the weather, and also because battery also gone. In the cold weather, your battery usage is uses a lot and very fast finish, right? Even my handphone, I take out, that's how they shoot. My handphone hang, frozen. Okay, so this one actually you see is some what called rainbow. Actually, it's just like because of the ice crystal form in the air. That's why it creates some like look like rainbow. Okay, and you look at it, actually, frankly, all the sunrise is beautiful. If you can breathe, and especially if you go there, a lot of people also wondering in their mind, hey, we standing out to shoot so cold, we cannot even tahan 5 minutes, 10 minutes shooting. How? Want to go toilet? There's no toilet in the open. How to pee? Right? Probably when you pee, the become form ice. Joking, okay. These are some of the. In fact, In fact, in one of the location here, when the wind was blowing, I think that was minus 30 that day, and it was cold wind, very strong. You know, I put my control tripod at the back of the on the ground, right? And then I go back to the four-wheel drive, open the back door to take my camera to fit onto the tripod. But so I was standing outside, my totally outside, I opened the door, right? To take my camera from the back seat. And you know what happened? I cannot come up. The wind was blowing so strong that it hit on the door, pushing on me on my back on the car. I cannot even push out until finally the driver saw it. Quickly came and helped me to pull the door open so that I can come out. You know. And by the time when I reached my tripod frozen.
Oh my God.
You know, my tripod head cannot move. My leg all cannot move. I say cannot move, can put the car. Also all hang, all frozen, cannot, you know. So I use handheld, you know, handheld shooting sunrise or landscape. Oh yeah, very hard to be sharp. Okay. So actually that shows how strong on the uphill of it. Because in Mongolia, it's open in the air, you know, and the wind blows. There's no structure, you know. Probably in Harbin, minus 40 is still okay because why? You can hide between the structure. Here's nothing. In the open air, only on the tree or so botak. So nothing to hold, what they call to reduce the speed of the wind hitting on you, right? Okay, this is another of the sunrise, right? Right here. You see everywhere you see even the snow actually is white. But when you see, take picture, all blue. It's all blue.
Cool.
Sometimes you look at it, sometimes you see the cow also already grown accustomed to be able to tolerate all this cold weather. In fact, when we reached this place at the hotel, when you look around, actually, not many shops open. Only the hotel and another shop that's selling all these winter clothing open. Food also nobody open because everybody stay indoor. That's why our hotel provides us the food. Otherwise, there's nowhere to eat, right? And I remember the first day, after the first day we reached there, we shoot sunset. When you reach hotel, the first thing everybody do is quickly run to the neighborhood shop to buy what? Buy glove,
Oh my God.
buy shirt, buy shoe. Because what they brought all not enough. Cannot tahan the cold weather, right? Okay, now I want to show you Pemba effect, right? Okay, what actually is Pemba effect? Pemba effect simply is that hot water freeze faster than cold water, right?
Oh.
That is the Pemba effect. Okay, so how do we utilize this effect in photography? Because 1 year ago, when myself, Wimpo and Courtney Lee and his wife, we were in Finland, we tried to this Pemba effect. We throw hot water over our head and hoping something happened, just like what you see on the background of my profile, right? That is the Pemba effect, right? So we did not get anything because the temperature not cold enough. I think in Finland at the time it was about -4, -8, -16. Not cold enough, cannot happen. The hot water drop on you, right? Whereas in this Inner Mongolia, we make it happen. You know, when I read article about Pemba effect, they say the optimum temperature to create a Pemba effect optimum is -36 degrees centigrade. You know, so when we at this place sunrise, It was temperature only minus 25, 26. So I said, okay, I'm going to take the risk to try whether it work or not. All right. And then I asked my my organizer. I say, I'm now going to throw my flask of hot water which I brought from hotel. I can throw over my head. Can you take my camera and just do burst shoot for me? I want to show you something. Huh? I want to do something that I can have this memory effect. He don't bother about me, organizer. I said, why? Can you just do just? I wish I already just click on my shutter and burst it. What? I can throw it up. He thought it wouldn't work. I said, please. He said, it won't work. 20 something cannot work. Huh? By theory, my 26 can work. I said, there might see here. Can you please hold it? After many times insistent, he finally take my camera and shoot. Right? Okay, that basically what I wanted to do was hot water, throw over my head, and it turned into snow. Okay. This is the place I tell him two, 3 times before I finally agree to take my shutter for me. After he see the picture, wow, we also cannot believe we have been bringing people for winter tours to this area for so many years. This is the first time he see, and he really happened. And you know what happened? The next following remaining day, every day he took a big pot of fluff from hotel. I want to do fluff forever. Now it's another program for all the drivers. So that was a good discovery, and that was a thing that over the next few days we honed our skill to make it a better photograph. This is actually from here. This was my second try. My first try was the day before. I take during the winter. Actually during the evening sunset. I told my friend, please stay away far from me. I'm going to throw this hot water. Somebody just hold the camera for me, and I'm going to pour over my head, to create the effect. Unfortunately, the result was not as good as this picture. It was okay, but not so good because it's a learning curve, and I make a mistake when I throw out, right? A few of my friend camera lens all stuck with frozen ice, small ice. Even my own camera, I put a filter also all frozen with ice. And myself, all the ice all stick to my clothing, right? Because why? I forgot one thing. When I see, wow, at the back of sunset, beautiful, man, good foreground, good background, I pour it out, really beautiful. But I forgot what happened. The wind was blowing against me, right? So when I put the wind blow out, hit all my photographer friend at the back, and you get a distorted photo like that. So this is my second day try. We already learned it from the mistake, and we get it. Okay. Now, so for this thing to happen, two conditions must be met. That means the water must be boiled at boiling temperature, 100 degrees centigrade. And the outside temperature must be in the range of -20 to -30, or even lower. So optimum is 36. So luckily it worked. That's why we got the shot. Okay. Now, okay, this actually explains technically This is the cold water, 20 degrees. This is the hot water, higher temperature. So you find that when they fish down, the hot water fish down faster than the cold water, right? So that's why the vampire effect is based on this scientific principle. Okay, this shot actually was a split of a second after just on the earlier shot. So basically, what actually happened is boiling water is closer to the point of evaporation, right? So, because cold air is very dense, it cannot hold the water molecule. So when this droplet, a small droplet, cool down, they form a cloud, they form a cloud or they form a vapor. That's why you see the type of Photoshop. This was the picture that we horned over after 2 trial. This is the one of the trial that finally I decided to say, okay, I take my own camera. Now we get somebody to throw. So we get our driver to throw. This is the second throw because the first throw, he was standing the other way around, He was standing the other way around and the whole spray of snow was all scattered because the wind was blowing this way. The wind was blowing this way, right? So earlier we throw, when he stand the other side, whatever he throw, all scattered. So everybody was pointing at this fellow, But because I roughly know what I want, I saw the sun coming up, the sunburst. So I make my what I call my camera view bigger so that I can capture this at the same time I capture the sunburst. So that's why I like this picture very much. Okay, so this actually is the second trial, successful trial. And after that, after this trial, the next few days, my organizer bring a pot of bigger hot water, but unfortunately, no more. Cannot get the condition right to do it, because snowing lah, cannot see the sun lah, so it didn't work. Okay, and also because if there is the wind blowing too strong, it's very hard to get. You don't get a nice picture. Now I show you how trees look like in winter in Inner Mongolia. Okay, beautiful, right? The trees that have not fully dropped its leaf, but all covered by snow. Right? It looks so beautiful, so pure, so calm. This picture is very beautiful. And then this is a tree. All these trees drop their leaf. And actually it's very nice, just like a piece of Chinese art, during winter. Okay. Most of the tree actually already drop their leaf. But somehow I managed to see a tree that here has some colors, right? And this one is also, this tree was also taken that when we reach another place, I also walk down, very happy to walk down. Because, wow, beautiful, I go and go down there. But walking up, another big issue. But trying very hard because up the hill, again, the knee high snow, okay, very tough. Okay, and okay, these are the trees, Okay, I took this picture. What I did is I lie down my back on the floor, on the snow, and I look up, and I took this picture of all the trees. Yeah. And then at another place, you find that this is another place of how the tree look like during winter. And when there's wind, you find that some structure are being formed. When it blow this way, you find that there's some pattern you can capture. This is me. You can notice that all my face hood all covered by snow, right? Just for some of this snow actually are from outside. There are also snow inside because for my breathing up, it is snow. And when I wear spectacles, worse. When I breathe, all my spectacle become frosted. Right? Okay, and this is a 4-layer, 4-layer. And then also, when you take picture, when you use the one to shoot, press the shutter release button, you find that I also realized that my shutter release button cannot work. Frozen, cannot work. You know, so important is when you're in a car, set what you want to set properly. Go out, just press. No time for you to adjust because it's too cold. You can adjust with your thick glove on. Okay, now I show you horses. Right, this is one of the area I also look forward to shoot horses. Okay, we went up to the highland. You see some horses grazing for their pasture in the snow-clad grassland. Okay, this is the horseman that's going to perform show for us. He's going to use the whip to whip his horses to run from up the hill, down the hill for us to take photograph, right? And most of the photographs I shoot on these horses, I was using my 7200, 7200 to shoot. And to get a good picture, we have to lie my body, front of my body lie flat on the ground, and on the ground to look up at the horses running at you, running towards you from the hill and towards you, so that you want to get a good shot. Okay. So the horseman will chase some horses up, go up to the hill, then later they will chase them down, and he will shoot them. Okay. So when you want to capture, what we want to capture is we want to capture the galloping on the horses, and kicking out all the snow out to create a fog and storm. But unfortunately, the few days that we were there, we only got 2 days to shoot horses. The temperature was not good. Our condition not so lucrative, not enough snow. So there's not much of a kicking of the snow, because some of the people I see the picture, they kick until you can see partially all covered up, only see the 2 eyes of the horse only. Don't take. But I think anyway, this picture is also quite okay lah. So we have two morning to run the horses at different hillside. Some go up the hill, some come down the hill. Yeah. And it also some moment where we were body down on the floor, pointing at our camera, our telephone at the lens, running toward us. And some of them, the horses running so close, by just even like a few feet away from us. We only worried they stump onto us. We are also lucky in the sense that in most of these horse running and for us to take, you see in that 2 days, we are the only group that were there, and we probably see another 1 or 2 other photographers shooting these horses. There's nobody. So because in winter, not many people want to come and shoot, right? So because there's not many photographers, so we need to pay higher prices for these horses because less photographer. But I understand in autumn, there are many photographer group taking this picture and you pay less. But unfortunately, the only disadvantage you have is when you're trying to shoot, you probably see a lot of bazooka. Those back fellow laying their bazooka on your shoulder and pat, like that, So this is a disadvantage in autumn. But in autumn, you get a different type of picture. You get a lot of dust kicked up, because it's no snow. Okay, so towards the end of the horse shooting, the horse they were put down, let them have a rest, and we and we go and take the horse group picture.
Family photo.
Family photo. Okay, and then we went to another place. We captured the horse neighing. So neighing actually is the longest and loudest sound, and one neigh is about 1.5 seconds, and it can hurt about 3/4 of a mile away. And the way they communicate with each other is by neighing. When they neigh, then they expect the other horse to neigh back to respond. Okay, these are the horsemen.
How many rounds they run for you?
Okay, one morning, we will run up, go up, down, up, down. So at least about 3-4 times. 3-4 times. Because it also depends on whether you get captured. Some of them don't capture it. So you request, please go more round. Then later you know what to do. Pay a little bit more than that. Otherwise, they won't give you a good performance. Because in the Mongolia, horses is one of the main event you want to take a picture. Not many places we can get. Right? Okay. And we also saw another group on the first 2 days, I think. A group of photographers came to take picture of this model. I do not know they were taking picture alone or they were doing some filmmaking, but we saw this lady. So we were thinking, oh my God, we take 4 lady, this girl, not easy. Then he's standing inside the open with the cold wind blowing. Okay, now I'll show you the frozen lake. Okay, this is a huge lake, right?
Wow.
And you can see the motorbike riding over the motor over the frozen lake. And we actually use our 4-wheel drive to drive from this dwelling over to the other side, up the hill to catch sunrise, right? And imagine, all the water are frozen. You can drive car over it, So I have actually I had an accident at this place. What happened is, while everybody was up the hill shooting the sunrise, my organizer and another photographer wanted to drive down to this side to capture because they saw a shepherd herding the flock of sheep. So I said I also want to go. So I followed them in the 4-wheel drive. So only 3 of us, right? So when they reached, they put in the middle of the lake. They walk very fast. They walk and go to the shoot. I came out last and I walked. And suddenly I fell down. I fell face down. Face down. Because the lake surface is just like our eyes, no? Those eyes, you can see like transparent eyes, so slippery, Even I'm using what they call this non-skid shoe, that cost me $800. Also, I slip, right? Slip, and I can remember when I slip down, under my head, my nose, I can see my left D4 camera fly onto the ground 10 feet away. My D70 fly onto the right, and then I cannot get up. Then the organizer and another fellow look back. How come I go G7 come? Then realize somebody struggling on the floor to get up. So finally, both of them came to my place, pull me up. Pull me up. Okay, I can stand it. They walk away. After they walk away, I started to walk back to my 4-wheel drive. Now this time, just now I fall forward, right? Now I fall backward. I fall backward and my head hit the background on the lake surface. So this is the okay. Now I think I know much time, right? I try to fix too fast. Okay, camera. Okay, this is camera. sunrise, camera passing sunrise up the hill. And after finish, we ask them to walk down. Okay, walk down. Okay, then on the way back, we chant across a shepherd with a sheep. So we stop at the roadside and we take picture of the sheep. The shepherd leading the sheep back home at the end of the day. And then after that, further down again, we met. This is the road that we used to drive, 4-wheel drive. Another 2 shepherds with the sheep cover up the whole road. So we have to put aside to let the sheep pass. And you also take the opportunity to take picture. Okay, the next one, playing with shadow. Okay, so we went to take picture of shadow, right? Shadow, right? To see shadow, the pattern made by shadow from the sun ray. Sunset. Okay, these are the sunset. Actually, quite difficult to get sunset like that place because very fast. It's dark. Okay. And normally it's sunset very fast. Short while, it becomes very dark, very dark, very early. Okay. Early is before the sunset. Sun ray shining onto the tree. The beautiful color of the sunset shining onto the snow-capped slope. Okay, so this is our group of photographer from different area. In fact, out of this group, there were 2 groups from Miri, Sarawak, and one of them won the $500 million prize. Remember, the mother and the baby in Vietnam. Okay, one of them he won that prize.
What is it? A photography competition or?
Yeah, photography government in the Dubai one, the photography one. Remember, and then there's so many hoo-ha about it. Say that it's a stage shot. Remember, the mother holding the baby.
Oh, I see.
100,000 US, that is $500 million. That's how so many people make like. And he actually, the person, he said my photography so sorry lah. I do all this TCM one, but I just hobby. But he make $500 million richer lah. For me, most of the time, hot pot lah, during the cold weather and all the sheep meat is very common. Very hard to find pork. If once the bloom out, I think for 1 day or so we get pork. It's a luxury celebration. Very hard to find pork. All these also from the sheep.
So can get veggie also,
Yeah. Imagine if 1 day, 2 day, for next 8 days, every day same thing, no?
Yeah, correct.
Finally, we back in Beijing, That night quickly go for Chinese restaurant, packing up. Okay, now okay, see, this is all the eyes on my face hood. My hand also bengkak a bit, although I wear double gloves. My main photo all stuck. My tripod also all frozen. My D7000 also frozen. So good to bring 2 cameras. One frozen, you still got another option to use Otherwise, you cannot take a picture. Okay, and then I mean your window closing are important. As long make sure that you don't wear cotton material. Otherwise, you're freezing inside.
Cotton.
Okay. Bring a lot of battery because battery use up very fast. Okay, and then also this is very important part. Insulating water resistant bag. So when we reach there, our organizer bought each one of us a plastic bag, right? That means when we are shooting outside, our camera all become very cold, minus 20, minus 30, very cold, right? So before you come back, you must put your camera and close up in this insulating bag. And when you bring home, leave at least an hour before you open up, because otherwise cold come to the hotel room hot, condensation take place. Your camera got problem. So this is a very important thing to follow. Okay. Remote control is good but my one frozen. I don't know, so maybe it use cable release is also frozen. So maybe you can think of probably remote control may help. Okay. And another thing is, remember to bring extra pack your camera, pack a tripod, keep them warm. Otherwise, they get frozen and you cannot work. That is very, very important. And I also buy heat pack, put under my 2 foot, under my glove, put under my body to keep it warm. Okay, frostbite. Because if you don't wear sufficiently to keep yourself warm, or your hand don't warm enough, you got frostbite. This is one of the photographer. After
God.
1 day, come back for the frostbite. Okay?
Oh my God.
Because why? The glove is cut into half, so that it can flick, this is the result I get. All right. So the night come back, send him to Chinese doctor. Then he stay in hotel for the next whole trip. So you only go do one day shooting only. Sunrise, then Kong already. End of story. And then when he went back, he's Singaporean. He went back to Singapore. The Singapore said, you very lucky, it take you about 4-5 months to heal. Only good news is, I don't have to amputate off your finger.
Correct.
It is still can be safe, but it takes 4-5 months to recover. So actually, it's not a thing to play with for this
very dangerous
frostbite. Very dangerous. Because sometimes when excited to get a picture, you forget everything. Take a glove or whatever you do to get a picture in there. You got this problem. I mean, this is basically talk about frostbite. Got many states. First degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree. I wouldn't go into it, but this is just for you to for knowledge. Okay. But frostbite really means frostbite means on the surface only. Frost is the injury on the surface. But frostbite means a crystal form inside the cell and rupture them and cause cell death. That's the frostbite. Frostbite not so bad. So I would think my friend that one belong to this group frostbite. Frostbite but probably had to amputate already. Okay. And then if you have frostbite, it will be very painful, So when you cold, painful, what the most common thing people will do? Put warm water to relieve, right? And this get worse. This is worse. Imagine hot and cold, what happens? Mix together, rupture, right? And these are some of the symptoms of frostbite: pain, burning, tingling, numbness. The color of the skin changes, blister. Okay. So basically, I wouldn't go into that. Okay, so always I like this statement. I learned from Finland. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Okay, so no matter how prepare yourself. So imagine if two fellow go for Antarctica, minus 70 degrees Celsius. You have to even more prepared. I think James Tan has gone to Antarctica, minus 70. Okay. So basically, dressing is very important. Important is the theory is there. You must have insulation between you and the environment, right? To prevent hypothermia, because cold and damp give you hypothermia, which is life-threatening. And then, sorry, what I'm trying to say is whenever you want to buy a clothing, always find out what is the temperature that you encounter. If it's -20, buy a clothing that at least go another 10 degree more, -30. Be safe, because the environment can change anytime and you don't have time to solve it. So 4 layer would be normally first a long underwear, which means probably the long john, right? Basically this one is just to keep your skin dry, and then the basically mid layer is actually to absorb moisture from this first layer and transport to the environment through evaporation, right? The third layer actually insulation to keep you warm, right? And the fourth layer is to prevent against the wind and the water, wind shell. So these are 4 layer clothing system for extreme weather, right? So the clothing I bought, basically I use all this for those people who do winter, extreme winter mountain skating type of quality. You know, that's why it cost me a lot of money to buy all this clothing to protect myself. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Okay. Okay, and this is the fellow who won $500,000. He gives the picture of baby and mother and baby. He's the one who won the $100,000 US.
He's from Miri.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that ends my presentation. Sorry,
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Go. Thank you.
Okay, let me look at some of the questions here. From Mr. Neil, he said, "What happened to your friend finger?" When I do not know actually. When I asked him, he told me the doctor said he wait for 5 months to heal. After that, I do not know. He never feedback what happened. But only good thing he never had to amputate. Anymore. Don't have, right? Davey, any more questions from your the chat room? Is there any more questions that are not answered?
Devi, are you there? Okay. Otherwise,
Don't have, right? I think you don't have. Then end here, right? Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Go.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. How do I off it now?
Yep.
Stop sharing. Where is the about the top there? Yeah, sorry. Top video, is it? Top share, Okay, thank you. Yeah. Any question, let me know. You give me some question, is it?
Sometimes back, yeah. What is the best time to visit? Is this the best time to visit?
Depend on what you want to shoot. Most people would like to go for autumn because not so punishing. The temperature is not so cold, right? The only disadvantage is a lot of people. You don't have a space to really standing space to even shoot because you're fighting with so many other people, right? I personally choose winter because I like to challenge myself to see whether I can survive the winter or not, and also less people. Okay, and then the different type of photo lah. You shoot autumn is just like shooting other season. Winter is very different. So you need a different form of technique lah.
Thank you.
I think more or less answer the question, right? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Devi.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Devi, sorry, Devi, I have to leave. I'll catch up with y'all. Okay, thank you, see y'all. Bye, bye.